To hire out the drywall in my home was going to cost me $20,000. I couldn't afford it, and so I decided to do it myself. My name's Biata, and I've been building my dream home and homestead from scratch for the last 3 years because, again, it's expensive out here. We couldn't afford to hire the whole thing out. So I've learned how to run machines, drop trees, do the framing and the rough-ins, and now I'm on to the finishing work. And I started drywalling back in January. Drywall is here. It's now 5 months later in June, and I have learned a lot. I don't know how to use these, Greg. By the end of this video, I want to tell you how many days it actually took me, because I've been doing the mudding on my days in between, how much it cost me to do it myself versus how much it would have cost to hire it out, if it was worth spending the extra money on line of credit interest versus a mortgage interest, and if I think this was all worth it. Just to recap, with the help of my stepdad Craig and my uncle Mike, we were able to get most of the home boarded. I spent a few extra days learning how to do all of this myself by boarding those smaller rooms, and then I decided to take up my uncle Mike's offer for him to teach me how to mud. Quotes for mudding alone were between $8,000 and $10,000, but he spent the day teaching me how to pre-fill, how to tape. That one did not work. And I watched so many YouTube videos, and now I'm here with a third of the house done, my great room that includes our living room and kitchen, and I have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms left to go. First things first, we've got to pre-fill. I use Drywall Compound 90 that dries hard and quick in 90 minutes. During this time, I also make sure to pre-fill any spots that got busted up, any gaps that need to be filled before taping, and I also pre-fill my ceiling joints because I found on my cathedral ceiling the mud sagged too much. Man, that looks terrible. It's getting stuck in there almost. Without pre-filling before. The pre-filling I find takes so long. I feel like I could spend a day on each room because of course we weren't perfect with our boarding.
And then on to the taping. I like to use paper tape. It's what most of the professionals use here, and it doesn't crack as easily as the mesh tape.
I was about to start running my ceiling. I haven't drilled the pot lights yet, which is probably smart to do. I will say this, taking this trade on is not easy. It's a learning curve, and doing it by hand, well, that's where the time consumption comes in. I'm a huge believer in being able to research and find so many things online. But if you're gonna skip that step, do not try drywalling. If you're not gonna research or at least get someone in for that first day to kind of show you the tips and tricks to do some of the work with you and show you how to use some of the tools, I think that is the best option for mudding your own space. I've got to say, this is so much easier when I've done all of those steps start to finish. The second time around of doing that coat, I feel so much more skilled. I feel like the way I'm using the knife is so much more familiar. Again, second time around feels like just the back of my hand. Like I'm able to do it. I'm able to just listen to a podcast and mud away like it's second nature. I do think it takes quite a bit of effort to learn the skill of mudding and getting the technique down. But now that I've got it down, I feel pretty confident in my ability to make the home look pretty good. Even though I've been drywalling on and off for months, life still continues. We are dog sitting our favorite pups, and they are so excited about their Bark box. Bark delivers joy to dogs monthly with adorable themes and custom toys and treats, like this backyard barbecue box. This month is extra special. Get double of everything, 4 toys, 4 treats, 2 dental chewers at no additional cost. Each month, Bark curates custom one-of-a-kind toys designed in-house by Bark, and same with their treats, made made by Bark with no soy, corn, or wheat. Dogs recognize the boxes each month, creating a special experience for them. And what's absolutely incredible is the boxes are customizable for your dog's allergies and for their chewing preferences. Soft toys or these hard toys for the super chewers. Like I said, BarkBox is offering an exclusive deal. Sign up today and get double of everything: 4 treats, 4 toys, 2 dental chewers with no additional cost. This is an amazing deal that you won't want to miss. Scan my QR code or use my specialized link in the description, and thank you so much to Bark for sponsoring me this week. All of the slats and the butt joints have second coats in this room, and I have to do the second coat on the corners, but what I haven't installed yet is the actual paper corners. So in this room I didn't use them, and it still turned out perfectly fine, but I thought I'd use it for the bedrooms and see how it goes. There are these 3-way corners, this side to drywall, so it bends, and then there's a little tab so that if your corner is out of square, you can adjust your corner to work. That's kind of cool, eh? It can be very out of square. And I think this is just supposed to help with less cracking in your corners. Could you tell when I realized my mud was too wet? I would say throughout this process, I am learning a lot and like getting the technique down, but also realizing don't fuss with it. Like if there's an imperfection, you can always come back in after you prime, or you can skim coat just really lightly that entire area. And just like that, the next 3 rooms are done. One of the bedrooms, the main bathroom, and the hallway. I do have the second third of the house done and mudded, but it's been a few weeks since I've done any mudding because this whole room is covered with our kitchen, and I needed to get self-leveler down in our living room in order to bring the kitchen out of that room to put it into this room. And because of the self-leveler, I now have to get these boxes over that little lip of self-leveler. Pam said to be super careful with the trim. Shoot. Yay! It is officially time to start prepping the rooms for mudding. I broke the house up into 3 sections. So random, all due to storage issues, but all I'm doing is going around screwing spots that we missed, like this entire sheet almost. I officially only have 2 more rooms to prep. Really exciting. The prep work definitely takes the longest, pre-filling any gaps, fixing any screws. Like I'm sure there's a few screws you have to fix after going after a professional boarder, but probably not very many. But because we boarded and we're not professionals, oftentimes in each row there's always a screw I have to put in a little bit deeper, or on the contrary, take a screw out because it broke through the paper and put a new screw back in. Oh, that's why. Something else in the prep work that I've noticed is this butt joint right here looks to be sticking out, which is going to make it look even more like a butt joint after I'm done mudding. A flat joint leaves you space to fill, like this gap here. Butt joint at the very minimum. Oh, this one's actually pretty good. There's a little bit of a gap there, but usually it should be pretty flat. This one is actually kind of nice. It might end up looking a little bit like a flat joint when I'm done with it. This one's pretty awesome too. There's a little bit of space there. This guy is not good, as you can tell. A little bit of a rock to it. We can't have that. This is our home. Especially since the sunlight is gonna come across this joint, it will forever be noticeable. Oh, this might be difficult because it's nailed into place, right? So, oh, not bad, not bad. Okay, got one. Oh, got another one. All right, now to get them back up, if possible. Yeah, they can go up. Okay, I'm just gonna put a screw in them because they were nailed, and screwing them will suck them up a little bit more. One more time. Ta-da! That'll work pretty well. Time to get the last sheets up. Our master bedroom pre-filled and prepped. Officially onto taping the last 3 rooms. I do really appreciate all of the extra pre-filling that I did because it does make for an easier and faster time taping, ensuring that all of the screws are deep enough where the tape joints are going. It makes taping go by so much more quickly, especially the corners, because the corners I could never get my screws in properly flush. And so pre-filling those corners and making sure those screws were flush is making a huge difference.
And when I go to tape any joint, I take out a little bit of mud first, and then I go back over and take out all of the rest. Doing it this way helps the tape embed into the mud, and then on the second pass, you're able to get all the excess mud out from underneath the tape so that there's no bulging. Once all the bed joints are slightly dry, I move on to the flats, and once all of the flats are slightly dry, I start working on the corners. But what I decided to do on the corners this time is after I'm done taping, I just go ahead and start the second coat. This is something that I saw the Vancouver carpenter do when you're hand taping. It's kind of cheating the system a little bit, but as long as your tape is set in place and isn't moving, you should be good to go to apply your second coat. But I didn't do this in my other rooms. I only now feel confident enough to kind of do both sides at the same time right after taping. The only thing that sucks about doing both sides of the corner without a corner trowel while both sides are wet is that you can gouge the mud on the other side of the corner. But for the third coat, I'll do one side of the corner, let it dry, and then do the other side.
Officially, all of the inside corner taping is done for the whole house. I'm so excited. And now it's back to second coats. I am on the third and final coat for the entire house. I'm so excited. I have my 12-inch knife. This is going to be used for flat joints, so it's gonna kind of feather out here and here. And it's gonna be used for butt joints. So here's the middle of the tape and here. I'll be using 10" for the corners. This was 8 beforehand. And I'm gonna be doing kind of opposites today, if that makes sense. So if I do this flat joint, I'm gonna do this corner joint. I won't do this flat because that corner will be wet. I will do these 2 butt joints. And then I can also do the butt joints here. I'll leave these flats on the ceiling for another time, tomorrow maybe. The master bedroom is the most complicated bedroom in the home because it's the largest one. It has the most butt joints in it. I am gonna start here because this one actually might need a 4th and final coat instead of just 3. Because of the strapping that I put up a little bit higher, there was a little bit of a concave to fill here. Let's get her done.
Okay, but first I did a super quick sand over any tool marks or any raised edges to make that 3rd and final coat much easier.
Just like a quick 5 to 10 minutes. And it helps with the mudding. And something that is really important when you're mudding is the way your knife is positioned. Right now you can see there's actually a pretty excessive curve that's not necessary on this knife. So sometimes I'm using the back side and sometimes I'm using the front side. When I feather out the edges, I'm using the back side of the curve so that there's no sharp tool marks. Do a little feather. So see how there's that curve? I'm just gonna go and hit the edges so it's less messy. It's gonna be curved this way. So this edge doesn't touch when I'm doing the upwards pass. And this side is gonna have the pressure on it. 1, same with the other side. And then I'm gonna do the middle pass. The middle pass, neither edge is going to touch the mud. It's just gonna be this curve that does. That way there's no sharp tool mark that's left behind. I probably could have done this bulkhead earlier, but sometimes I get into the groove and I don't want to do anything else. I think I'm gonna have all 3 of them meet. I'll cut this back on like a 45. And now to put it together. It's hard to do when you're like in the way of the camera. This has a lot more sunlight coming through than this does here. So I'm just gonna push this up a little bit and get it more even. Now that the mud is up and there's a lot of it, I'm gonna use this guy here, close, but I wanna fill a bit more in at the top and then I'll do one more swipe. And done. So I've been having a hard time with this spot here. The shower is here, the laundry and storage is here. I wasn't sure whether or not to do drywall returns or to tile up to here and then put a nice piece of trim on the front and then caulk that. I think what I'm going to do is drywall return, and if I decide to do a piece of trim after, then I can definitely do that. I just have to clean this up a little bit. The battery always dies. I'm actually really excited for this. I think it's just gonna like bring the room together, just this one little piece of drywall. I almost forgot, before I do this corner, I'm gonna do an inside corner here. Makes the most sense. I know it's silly, but bit by bit, as these small little pieces come together, truly just blows my mind. Seeing something like a little piece of drywall on a drywall corner go up, seeing one of the last remaining studs get covered up, it's really, really exciting. Time to get back to the very last coat on the corners, flats, and butt joints in the last 3 rooms. We are done. Well, kind of. There's still more to do, but the mudding is like 98% done. I need to do one more coat here once that dries. I do still need to do this wall, but honestly, this is just gonna be another time. I have to make sure that everything is good with the doors. I wanted to make sure it wasn't leaking. If there's no leaks, I think we're good to go. I'm nearly done. I have maybe 3 days left worth of sanding and touching the rest of the rooms up, but it is officially time for the reveal. Was this worth it? My total tools cost came to $323, totally worth it. The massive bulk order of all of the drywall sheets, that was $3,619, plus all of the miscellaneous items, all of the materials together came to $5,024.88. Bringing my total expenses for tools and materials to $5,348.78. And since my quotes came in around $20,000 for the materials and labor to mud and board this home, my cost savings was $14,651.22. I was not expecting that type of savings. From my understanding, a crew of 2 to 3 people would take 3 to 4 days to board this home, especially considering the complexity of the cathedral ceiling. And again, from my understanding, if professionals were using the machine tools and not the hand tools for mudding, it would take 4 full days for the typical steps of mudding a home. It did take me a while to mud this whole room and the entryway because that's what I started with and I was just learning. That took me about 14 days. Now, I only work 6-hour days because that's when my daughter is in school and I'm a mom outside of that. And then I did the rest of the house in 2 other sections. So for all 3 sections of the home, it took me 28 days. I'm not done sanding. That should only take me a day, maybe 2, bringing our grand total to a month of business days. But was that worth it? So if we take what it took me, subtract what a professional would take, that's about an extra month. But we do have to subtract the fact that I am spending more on my line of credit interest right now than I would be if I was able to get my mortgage 1 whole month earlier. There's a lot of math here, but that's around a $600 difference. So that being said, my $14,600 savings brings it down to around $14,000 in savings. But since we're not building mortgage free because it's 2025 and my gosh, we're in our early 30s and we're not quite there yet, that extra $14,000 on our mortgage over the course of a 25-year mortgage with the current interest rates would be an extra $11,000 in interest fees over the course of that 25 years. That means hiring out this mudding would have cost us $25,000 in labor, including that interest. I would like to pay off our mortgage quicker or maybe one day sell, rebuild, be completely mortgage free. I don't think we will hold a mortgage for 25 years, but for the average home, that is a big deal. Spending an extra 14 grand in labor, that is a big deal. So yes, it was 1000% worth it. I would do it again. In my opinion, it looks just as good, but I do have to say, I do understand why mudders charge what they do because this was a lot of work. It was painstaking. And I know if I had the machine tools, it would have gone by more quickly, but it would have cost me a lot more money to get those tools. And I think because I'm not going into the profession, I think it was worth just taking that extra month to get it done with hand tools. And the skill was so worth learning. Like they would have been in and out of here in in January, and I still would have had to learn how to mud this wall because I had to take these sliding doors out. You are gonna have to tune back in, see this wall done, see all the rooms primed and painted, and let me know, do you think this was worth it? Saving 14 grand? Subscribe, and I will see you next week.